What you doing? Me? Doing some math. You wanna do it with me? You do. Let's go. All right, boys and girls. Today we're gonna be talking about congruent shapes. We know what congruent shapes are because we've talked about congruent shapes before. We remember, if we think really hard in our noggins, that congruent shapes are two shapes that are exactly the same. They are exactly the same. There is no difference in them at all. They are the same shape and the same size. And so, let's get started practicing congruent shapes. If you hear some noise down there, it's Kate the dog. Here, let me show you. Where did she go? Kate. There she goes. Ah! She escaped. She is always here making noise and bebopping around, distracting me and everybody else. Okay, back to congruent shapes. Congruent shapes. We know that congruent shapes are shapes that are exactly the same. So before we go any further, I want you to make sure you have your worksheets that look like this. It's a GeoBoard worksheet. It says 96 and it either has an A, a B, a C, or a D at the top. It doesn't matter which one you use, A, B, C, or D. I don't care which one you have, but you have two of them and I want you to get them both. So pause this real quick and make sure you have your congruent shape page. Okay, if you've unpaused it, you have your page. So here we go. Congruent shapes are shapes that are exactly the same. I'm going to start by making one shape. Look at the shape that I just made. What shape is this? It has 3 points. 1, 2, 3, or 3 on the inside. They're called angles. And has 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. So what shape is that? Triangle. Very good. All right, I want you to look really closely, boys and girls, at my board. I'm going to ask you to, on your paper, which you can't see mine very well, which is right here, I'm going to ask you on your paper to draw a congruent triangle, or one that is exactly the same. The best way to do that is to look at the points and count. So, 1, 2, 3. The top of my triangle is on the top row, the third one in. So go ahead and get your paper and circle the top dot, the top row, third dot in. Good job. Okay, now my other 2 points or corners are down on the bottom. They're the far left, or well, that's actually maybe you're right, and the far left and the far right corners. So go circle those really quickly on your sheet. I'm going to do the same on mine. 1, 2, 3. Circle. And then the bottom left and the bottom right. Circle and circle. Now, if you have a ruler handy, you can use a ruler. I don't have a ruler handy, but I want you to draw line segments from the top middle to the bottom left. See if you can make them nice and straight, going through that little dot, which is kind of a guide, and then go back to the top and go through the dot again, down to the bottom. Excellent. Now go all the way across the bottom, through the dots. Very good. Okay, looking at my GeoBoard right here and your paper, or my paper, are these shapes congruent? What do you think? You think yes? You would be right, because we drew our line through this one peg here, and this one peg here, and that's the only peg we went through. And on the bottom, we went across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these shapes are exactly congruent, which means exactly the same. Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to take my rubber band off. I'm going to turn my paper over. I want you to turn your paper over. And let's do a new shape. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 across the top with my green. You can barely see it. Then I'm going to pull it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Across the bottom, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, boys and girls, what shape do I have here? Triangle? No. Square? No. Oval? No. What is it? It's a rectangle. You're exactly right. It's a rectangle. So, you can still kind of see my triangle through the back, and I'm sorry about that, but I don't have any other way to do it. However, on your page, boys and girls, I want you to make me a congruent rectangle. You'll know that it's congruent because you'll skip the first one, you'll use the 3 middle, and you'll skip the other side, or left, I guess. Skip this one. This kid can't tell when I'm on the computer screen. I get confused. The 3 middle ones, 1, 2, 3, across the top. Draw that line. Or actually, oops, Miss King's wrong. Circle the 2 points. My rectangle has 2 top points and 2 bottom points. So it's not the outside ones, it's the 2 inside and the 2 inside bottom. All right, now let's draw some line segments. Let me do mine too. I lost my marker. New color, orange. Okay, so I skip this one, circle that one, skip, circle, because I don't use those 2 corner ones, and then I know I go all the way down to the bottom, skip the outside one, circle, skip the outside one, circle. Now, I see that my line has gone, my rubber band has gone 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to draw a line segment. And now, I see it goes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Straight down. If you have a ruler, you can use it. If you don't, you can be like me. All right, across. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then down again through the 5. All right, boys and girls, looking at these 2 rectangles, are they congruent? Yes, they are. They're the same shape and the same size. Very nice. Okay, we're going to do one more together. We're going to make one more congruent shape together, and then I'm going to have you make your own. I'm going to take off my green rubber band. I think I'm going to use, ooh, red. Red is nice. Okay, let's see. This time, I think I'm going to do right in the middle. Well, that one's fine, but I wonder if I can do something different. Boop. Aha! Look at what I did there. What did I make? It could be a square if we turned it this way. And this way, it's almost a rhombus, but not quite. But I'm going to make this shape, which is a square. Square turned so that its points are different. Okay. Looking at my shape, let's circle the points. 1, 2, 3. So the 3rd point from the top. 1, 2, 3. Circle. You do that. Then I go down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Circle. Now I'm going to look at the bottom. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Circle. I'm going to go over here from the top down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I've circled the points. You've circled the points. Let's see if we can make a congruent shape. I don't have a ruler, but I'm going to go draw my line through that dot. Ooh, almost. Okay, boys and girls. My square has 4 corners, 4 sides, and what I drew up here, is it exactly the same or congruent? 4 corners, 4 sides. Yes, they are exactly the same. So they are congruent shapes. All right, boys and girls, you have a page, one more page on the back. You don't have a geoboard at home, so I'm just going to make some shapes, and you can choose if you want to do one of my shapes. Here is a skinny rectangle. Maybe you want to do a true, whoop, I just shot my rubber band. Maybe you want to do a, oh good grief. Maybe you want to do a true rhombus with 2 narrow angles and 2 wide angles. There's a rhombus. Perhaps that's what you want to make. If not, maybe you want to make, let's see. We could do this shape, which has 5 sides. What shape has 5 sides, boys and girls? Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe you want to do a pentagon. I wonder if we could do something different than a pentagon. I'm trying to figure out if we can make a, maybe make a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexagon? I don't know. Oh! Ooh, look at that shape. That shape's pretty cool. What shape is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is a hexagon. That's a fun shape. Maybe you want to make that. I don't care what you do. Pick one of my shapes or make your own. But try and make sure that it's one of mine if you can, and that it's congruent to what I've shown you. This last one's a little hard because you don't have anything to work with. But you do your best to draw another congruent shape. And then, eventually, let me find it. On your worksheets, it's going to ask you to draw a congruent shape, and you can count the pegs just like we did and draw it over here. There's some on the front and on the back. These are just triangles and rectangles, but those aren't a whole lot of fun. So, boys and girls, go ahead, draw some congruent shapes. I'll talk to you later. Mwah! Bye.